So Joaquin Buckley will be fighting Ian Machado Garry at UFC Tampa in December. They're going to be headlining that fight night. Um, yeah, I love that fight. I love it. Oh man, I love it. It's a banger at welterweight, and it's two young, you know, fighters who are currently on fire and headed, straight up the rankings. So this is a big fight. Where one young guy uh, heads back down and one young guy continues to rise. So it's fun, and I'm looking forward to it. So let's break it down. We got Ian Machado Garry. Like I said, this guy. I don't like him as a person. I'm not really a fan, but I respect his game. He's got a great fight IQ. He's training with Shoot the Box with Charles Oliveira's gym and his team. So his striking has really improved. His striking defense has improved. I feel like his grappling has always been there and it's always been great. And he's just a smart fighter. So I feel like his specialty, like his go-to fight style, is really just ideally containment. He knows how to contain fighters. He knows how to kind of lessen the effectiveness of their go-to moves or heavy-hitting styles. And we saw that when he fought Michael Venom Page. Michael Venom Page is known as a really high-class striker who can really land some devastating stuff on you. And he did it against Kevin Holland. He really just embarrassed Kevin Holland, landing like these reverse elbows and devastating punches that all really pretty much landed clean. And we saw Ian Garry, and although Ian Garry did hit, he did have to eat a couple big shots. For the most part, he did pretty much nullify Michael Venom Page's moves, and then was able to win by decision. So I wouldn't consider Ian Garry to be like the most entertaining fighter. I don't think he's got knockout power. I don't think he's this big TKO guy. But he's smart. He's more close to like Bilal's type of fighting, where it's like they're not really looking for a knockout, but they're looking to outclass the guy, in certain facets of fighting, and most likely pretty much take the fight to a decision. But he's fighting Joaquin Buckley, and Joaquin Buckley has always been a really, the word that comes to mind is firecracker. The guy explodes. He's got tons of power. His athleticism is through the fucking roof. And he's well known for that, for like one of the greatest knockouts in UFC history, that spinning back kick off one foot to the head of his opponent and just flat out KO'd him. And it looked so ninja, man. It looked absolutely ninja, and it was incredible to watch. And that's dangerous, going up against a guy like Ian Garry. And then we just saw Joaquin Buckley knock out Wonderboy Thompson, which was a little bit of a heartbreak because, I love the UFC legends, the guys who've paved the way for so many fighters. And Wonderboy Thompson is one of those guys, a brilliant striker, karate master, and just a humble guy outside the cage. Just a really wonderful, honorable human being. And to see him go out like that was sad. But, eventually the new were going to overtake the old. And Joaquin Buckley moved in, he charged in. Wonderboy Thompson had some moments. He still looked as fast as he ever did, even though he's very old for the fight game. But Joaquin Buckley was able to pressure, move in. Joaquin Buckley got some takedowns early and got some takedowns throughout the fight, as long as the fight lasted for. And then, there was that moment where Joaquin rushed in, landed a really heavy overhand, and pretty much slept Wonderboy, and that's just that's a testament to the strength of Joaquin Buckley, the power, the energy, and the pressure, and that's what I feel like he's going to bring when he fights Ian Garry. But what you also have to consider is what I just said. Ian Garry is a guy that contains people. You know, uh, he maneuvers himself in a way where he's able to utilize different facets of the fight game to minimize, you know, deadly deadly facets of striking or grappling or whatever. You know, and like I said, we saw it against Michael Venom Page, man. Ian Garry was able to make that guy look like it wasn't Michael Venom Page. It was just a, you know, some fucking UFC can. And, you know, granted, Ian Garry did, again, he had to eat some shots from Michael Venom Page. Michael Venom Page did land a couple, but none of them were able to sleep Ian Garry. And like I said, Ian Garry was able to initiate some clinch work, and also just kind of sort of pretty much hang with Michael Venom Page with the striking as well. So I think Ian Garry, especially being the taller fighter than Joaquin, he's going to establish range. You know, I think he's going to use the shoot the box fight method to establish range. He's going to look for oblique kicks to the body, really swift and fast kicks to the body of Joaquin Buckley, and especially being the taller fighter, that's very plausible and doable. And he's really just going to try to outclass Joaquin Buckley at range. If Joaquin goes for takedowns, Ian Garry is no stranger to ground game. I'm pretty sure he can survive there as well if Joaquin Buckley was to initiate, trying to bring the fight to the ground and fight on the ground, try to grapple with him, whatever. I'm pretty sure Ian Garry will have enough know-how to get back to his feet or just entertain a grappling match and see what he can get, because, again, he trains at Shoot the Box. He's training with Charles Oliveira, jiu-jitsu specialist. And, you know, while Charles Oliveira did have trouble against Arman Tsoukakian, I don't think Joaquin Buckley has that Eastern European grappling style. Joaquin Buckley can grapple his ass off, don't get me wrong. But I feel like, you know, Joaquin's grappling style and Ian's grappling style will match. If not, Ian Garry's might eclipse Joaquin's by a little bit, but I could be wrong. I don't, but I tell you guys the facts. Come on, man. This is after studying these two and telling you guys what I really think. So, for UFC Tampa, who do I have? How do I think this fight goes? I've got Ian Garry. I'm gonna play it safe. I like Joaquin. I hope he wins. I don't really like Ian Garry. I'm not a fan. I'm definitely more of a fan of Joaquin than Ian Garry. But I have to make the smart moves. We're about smart moves here. We're about analysis and logistics. And Ian Garry just looks too damn good to lose to Joaquin Buckley. And Joaquin is a great fighter, don't get me wrong. And he may just have a title shot in his career sometime soon, who knows. But I think against Ian Garry in December, I think Ian Garry is going to come in really technical, really smart, and he's going to be able to break down Joaquin Buckley at range. And if the fight goes to the ground, he's still going to be able to know what to do on the ground. And I think he takes Joaquin Buckley to a decision because, again, I don't think Ian Garry is that powerful. So he'll just basically outclass Joaquin Buckley on the feet and on the ground if the fight goes to the ground. He'll be able to evade the really wild overhands of Joaquin Buckley and the nonstop pressure. I think Ian Garry will be able to survive that pressure. Like I said, throw some really swift, fast kicks to the body, as Joaquin Buckley is trying to move forward. Things like that, little shoot the box know-how things that Ian Garry can use and just win with. So I got Ian Garry beating Joaquin Buckley via unanimous decision. I don't think it'll be a split decision. And that's that. I love Joaquin. I think he'll still have a great career moving forward. But when these two young, influential fighters meet, I think Ian Garry gets the best of Joaquin. That's just how it's just how I see it, man. It's just the truth. It's just the truth. But anyway, make sure to like this video, comment, and subscribe if you like it, or if you don't, still like, comment, and subscribe. But most importantly, you subscribe. I love you guys. I'll see you on the next.